This is from Biafran's Got Talent. We are letting Biafrans know the reason why we should remember those who gave their lives for us, those who died that we may live.
You died to end my suffering. You died fighting for my freedom. Your blood is the seed of redemption. You are my inspiration.
The deed no longer them, military shots at them. 67 to 70, we remember them. 2016, 38 May, memory still lives in our mind till today. Wonder why they refuse to publicize the genocide. The world media turn blind eyes to our plight. It's time to arise, land of the rising sun. Let's rise one more time, let's rise.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes, those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Iwata massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Tell them I thought that day. Remember when me tell you say I thought that day. Yeah, I remember that one that called us a Bruce Mero. But the way you go like a Papa Nuku. But them they were Boniro. Me tell you what I look pandi, what pandi Samiro. Me tell you what I day. For me the front and the rest of man I tell you what I day. Me know that you come to tell them
heroes, I want to promise you something today. We must fight together, no retreat and no surrender. We must hold them down till the end of time. The most important thing is that we will restore Biafra. May your soul rest in peace.
I look up to the sky with tears in my eye. For other Biafrans and for freedom had to die. We will never forget you as the days go by. You are always in my heart, you'll never be apart. They fought for our freedom, they died for our freedom. They fought the Nigerian soldiers in the war front, without food, without guns, for our freedom, for our life, for our own good, for our children. We love them, our heroes, we want them.
My heart bleeds when I saw them slain. Where will I be now if not then? They will remain indelible in my heart forever, 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 and ever, and ever, and ever.
We serve in your plantation, and the way you paid us back with your bloody starvation. We play in our history that the death of my people is a mystery. No going back to get to a victory. I had a voice now call for vengeance. I never get bombed, I'ma blow like a vengeance.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes, those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Iwata massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Where will I be now if not you? You died at Mali.
They were starved to death because of our freedom, and they paid the debt for our freedom. Flag high for those that died in the genocide, fighting for you and I. There is pain in the heart, we bleeding inside, tears in the eyes, so I'm following you.
This is for my fallen heroes. Keep them on the patient people. It's like I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Cause we to be a cast, I need to be a nurse. If we did not retire,
They paid the ultimate price. They died for the freedom of unborn child.
free. March on, cause we are more than conquerors. Yeah, you know what it is. We must revenge, and we must stand to represent who we are.
Fight on, brave boys, fight on, heroes of our fatherland. Pursue the enemy, harass him, destroy the invader. March on, brave boys, now that victory is in sight. March on and hasten the disintegration of the enemy already set in motion.
Fighting a war, knowing the difficulties, the odds against us, there is an element of fatalism, people feeling, well, if the world chooses to abandon us, then perhaps it is better we all perish. They don't ever consider a Biafra not free. They believe in either Biafra free or no Biafra at all. That means none of us living to see it.
I need Biafra freedom. We Biafrans, we need Biafra freedom. For this, I decided, even to die, that Biafra must have its own freedom.
I want us to work systematically towards the establishment of a good, progressive, and democratic society where all vestiges of privilege and social injustice will be abolished, and the rich contribute more for the welfare of the poor. If civil war comes, and I do think it is imminent, you're quite right, it will for us be the price of freedom. Our people here have for a long time been prepared for this eventuality, and I am confident of their readiness. I think that when it does come, that the people on the other side would be surprised as to what they're going to get. And I'm confident that it will not last long.
We'll surely come out as a nation because we're fighting a just cause. Even a little child on the street will tell you this. We shall never go back to Nigeria again. God's grace will surely emerge as a nation. And so, as far as this war continues, we'll fight to the last man.
This is what Biafra is, the end of the journey for a persecuted, massacred, pursued people. We have made all attempts at a democratic resolution of this crisis. I have offered open elections, plebiscite. I have offered just an open carte blanche suggestion, anybody who can find a democratic way of finding out the wishes of the people, let him suggest it and we will go for it.
Another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior.
Another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior.
Holy, holy.
If you do not believe in what we are doing, then you better get out. We're not going to stop. God knows we can never stop until Biafra is restored. We are peace-loving people. We abhor death and killing of another soul. It's in our nature, that's how we are. But because of that, they have been coming and killing us all these years. We've kept quiet. They've been killing and killing and killing quiet. We have a case at the ICC. We have a case at Africa Union. We have a case of what else again? Pending before the UN in New York. We've been to Geneva to tender our case. Before UN, till today, nothing. In fact, the more we complain to them, the more they come to abduct and rape our children, the more they come to kill us, the more they want to take over our land and our forests. And who told them that's going to be possible in our time? In a time, in a movement that I lead, you think you can come into our land and take it over? Oh dear. That means you don't know who we are.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this very evening program, wherever you are joining from. If you are connecting us from TikTok, you're joining us from YouTube, you're joining from Facebook, or any place you are connecting to this program, I welcome you and I appreciate you. Thank you for being part of the program. Please kindly like and share this program to all platforms, share to family and friends, share to our enemies, share to those that have a superior argument, those that feel that they have something to say that's quite contrary to what we are saying. Share to them so that they can have that opportunity to come here and ask us questions. We need to answer questions, constructive questions without insult. That is why we are here. Once again, I wish you all a very happy Sunday, more especially the Biafran Christians. You know, most of us Biafrans are Christians. Majority of us, we are Christians. In Biafra, myself, I'm a Christian. So most of us, you know, we worship on Sundays. We go to church on Sunday and we worship, and many of us have gone to church to worship and come back. Many are still in the church and some are preparing to go, depending on their zone. So wherever you are, I appreciate you and I thank you for joining us on this platform. If you join, don't watch alone. Make sure you invite someone to join you. I can see my beloved brother Uche Onyende. This is my co-brother in this platform. Every time he's always here, morning, afternoon, evening. Whenever I'm out, he's here, helping to share the information, helping to make sure that the program continues. With people like him, I can't stop coming out. I will come out no matter how difficult it is. So I appreciate my beloved brother Uche Oyende. Thank you so much. And I also appreciate those who are watching on TikTok. I might not be mentioning your name one by one, wherever you're watching from. I welcome you. I thank you so much for being part of this very program, this very evening, afternoon, morning, according to the zone. Remember, in this platform, we do not come here to instigate violence. We don't come to preach hate. We do not come to attack people or individuals. As always, what we do is to present Biafra as the only solution to the failed state Nigeria. When we say we present Biafra as the only solution, we are not denigrating anybody. We are not denigrating any tribe. Every other tribe have the right to free themselves if they so desire. They equally have the right to remain in Nigeria if they want to be part of the Nigeria they want. But for us, the Biafran people, we do not want to be part of the Zoological Republic. And the solution is what we are preferring, a peaceful referendum. Let the people take their decision where they want to be, what they want to do at any given point in time. So everyone that have connected to this program this time, don't keep it to yourself. Invite others to join us because we are going to touch very important issues. And also remember, we are in a new time. We are in a very interesting time. A time that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have decided to end all the confusion. The supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, have decided to end every confusion, every misdirection. Today, the message is that every one of us must unite and focus on the unity of purpose. That is the message. Today's message on the Sunday sermon on Biafran struggle, we do what we have to do and say it the way it is. IPOB, the reborn IPOB, under the Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today, is the leading direction. For those of you who said you are confused, for those of you who continue to pretend to be confused, and those of you who are genuinely confused today, if you still remain in confusion, you have chosen that for yourself. Good luck. But today, there is no longer confusion. Our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoko, that I know very well, also worked under Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, respected Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, obeyed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's instructions. And he equally said and called himself the disciple of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He has never competed with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He has never contested, but all he was doing was to continue to build on the foundation of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and make sure that the legacy of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not destroyed. That was the major work that Mazi Simon Ekpa did. One of the most important work it is to make sure that the legacy of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remain as the supreme leader of this struggle, and make sure that that structure Mazi Nnamdi Kanu kept in place is intact. That was one of the greatest jobs that Mazi Simon Ekpa did. You can hate him, you can like him, you can pretend about it. It's up to you. But today is interesting times. You know, sometimes we allow ourselves to be used knowingly or unknowingly because of selfish interest or because of friends. Many people in the past allowed this sacked DOS to use them against Mazi Simon Ekpa, an innocent man who was only trying to make sure that our supreme leader is protected. An innocent man who was just making sure that the legacy of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remains. An innocent man who was only fighting to see that the Biafrans are secure. But this department of saboteurs blackmailed Mazi Simon Ekpa. They blackmailed Mazi Simon Ekpa, and some people ignorantly joined them. Ignorantly joined them. But I thank you, Kuka, today, everything is coming to play. The same people who blackmailed Mazi Simon Ekpa, the exact thing they did against Mazi Simon Ekpa is what they are doing to the supreme leader of IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today. The same template. Blackmail, lies, propaganda. Go and check their platform and see all the lies they are spilling against Mazi Simon Ekpa, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This is what they did to Mazi Simon Ekpa. Mazi Simon Ekpa was able to stand them, taking the whole bullet. There is no kind. There are some people today that call Mazi Simon Ekpa, but when you mention Mazi Simon Ekpa today, there are people. The next thing that comes to their mind is destruction, attack, confusion. There are people today, once you mention Mazi Simon Ekpa, what comes to their mind is negativity. This was made possible by this department of saboteurs. They created this narrative. They created these perspectives through their propaganda. This DOS that was sacked, the governors in the southeast, the politicians, and the caliphate, every one of them marched together and they fought against one man, blackmailed him, destroyed his image and his personality and name. What did Mazi Simon Ekpa do? I have challenged them so many times. Give us a video where somebody committed a crime and said that Mazi Simon Ekpa sent him. You can't find it anywhere. But we have so many video evidence where people went and committed a crime. The most popular one was the one they went and killed a traditional leader. And when the guy was arrested on channel television, he was interviewed by a channel, by NTA, popular media in Nigeria. And the guy said that it was China Samoru and Chike Doziem that sponsored them and directed them to go and take the life of an innocent traditional ruler. It is on record. But These people were so vehement on pushing program Mazi Simon Ekpa, and they made you believe that Mazi Simon was the problem. Even when that interview was done, the video is in the public, but you ignored it. You ignored it because you want to follow the crowd. Today, look at what they are doing to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The same people that time they were claiming, oh, Mazi Simon Ekpa is not with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is our leader. Oh, Mazi Simon Ekpa is on his own. He's not a member of IPOB. He's not a member of IPOB. Even though they know that Mazi Simon Ekpa was part of the IPOB. These are the same people that held series of meetings with Mazi Simon Ekpa after the arrest of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Every one of them was calling Mazi Simon Ekpa day in, day out, holding meetings with him. But all of a sudden, when he refused their offer, they were offering him to join them, to remove Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as his leader. And Mazi Simon Ekpa told them that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, as long as he's alive, wherever he is, he remains the leader. The question is not about who becomes the leader, it's about how to defend and protect the Biafran people. That was what Mazi Simon Ekpa told them. In one occasion, Mazi Simon Ekpa said that they held meeting for 9 hours. Throughout the whole night, he could not sleep. What are they dragging? Who is going to be a leader? This one come from this side, this one come from this side. Some of them will call him privately to join them and form a quorum. And Mazi Simon Ekpa said, why are we not focused on the kidnap of a supreme leader? Why is it this position is what is important? And when these saboteurs, Chinas and World and Chikelusium tried and said that Mazi Simon Ekpa is not interested in military battle, they begin to blackmail him and said he want to hijack IPOB. A whole IPOB, that he want to hijack it. How did he want to inject it? Mazi Simon Ekpa was only preaching his message. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu knows how effective his message has been. Even while Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was with us, he has told us to listen to him. And when they listened to him, he said, allow him, give him a slot to preach in Radio Biafra. And these people refused vehemently because of their evil agenda. Did Mazi Simon Ekpa commit any crime against anybody? The answer is no. Was Simon Ekpa against anybody? The answer is no. Even the DOS, Mazi Simon Ekpa, was not against them. At a point in time, I followed Mazi Simon from day one to today. He was even telling us to obey the DOS on what they are saying. Obey them and follow them. Listen to them. More especially the time when I sit at home. But Biafrans refused and said, no, we will not stop. And what a leader will do is to listen to the voice of the people. But the Department of Sam of Tua, the DOS of Chike, decided it is command and control only. And the command and control is applicable only to the Biafrans on their own matter. But when the command comes from the supreme leader, they will not obey it. You know what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Simon Ekpa have been saying that these people do not obey Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Simon Ekpa shouted and shouted and shouted that these people, their plan is to make sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not released. These people, they have directly and indirectly keyed into the kidnapping of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. There are so many of them were involved consciously, so many unconsciously has followed that pattern. Mazi Simon Ekpa continued to shout. Even when they removed the name of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in IPOB registration, remove Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in Radio Biafra, Mazi Simon was the one that blew the horn and started shouting. For all this while, it is only Mazi Simon that have been shouting and telling people they should beware of this. Even we went to the extent of conducting a vote of no confidence. Today, that vote of no confidence has been confirmed by the supreme leader of IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I thank Chukwu Okike for the leader he has given us in Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today have recovered the original IPOB, and that is the way to go. Don't allow anybody to deceive you. Don't allow anybody to confuse you. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the leader of this struggle. Simon Ekpa Njoku confirmed it, has never one day denied that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the leader. He has never contested with the position of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He called himself a disciple. That is what he called himself. A disciple of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And he has always revered him. In many of the interviews, people have asked him, what if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu comes out? What is going to happen? He said, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's position is unchallenged. Whatever happens in Biafra, in the government, in and out, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's position is not contestable. Nobody is contesting with him. And wherever Mazi Samanaba today, he will be very happy that finally Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has done the needful. And what every one of us is to do is to support the IPOB that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have reunited under Chris Wood, Mazi Chris. Whatever information that is passed there, you must follow it. We must encourage them prayerfully, financially, morally. Support the IPOB that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have recovered today. That is the right way to go. These criminals and saboteurs that are hanging up and down on different titles and different names, they are gone and gone for good. And if you are a genuine Biafran time, you are still living in confusion. We can't help you. I personally, I cannot help you. If you still say you are confused with all the effort, look at Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is in detention. This is a man facing life sentence. We are supposed to be fighting on how to free him. But he is the one that is inside, caring about us, directing us on how to stay safe, giving instructions on what to do. The least you can do is to follow his word and be safe. Follow the words of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and be safe. That's the least you can do. But up till now, some people are still fighting that move. Some of them are fighting it because of their selfish interests. Some for their personal interest. But I tell you, your interest can never supersede the interest of 80 million Biafrans. That is why we must continue to do what we have to do to see that Biafra is fully restored. Today, on our Sunday sermon, we are talking about the need for unity, truth, and discipline in the journey of Biafra restoration. Wherever you are watching from, morning, afternoon, evening, according to your time zone. Brothers and sisters joining us from different parts of the world, wherever you are watching from today, I welcome you to this Sunday sermon. Let us begin by reflecting on the importance of truth, unity, wisdom, discipline, and perseverance in every struggle for justice and self-determination. Today, I want to speak on a very important topic: the need to support the new IPOB under Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and the danger of false narrative, propaganda, perceptions, perception management, blackmail, and division. This is the topic we are going to discuss, and I want you to pay close attention. Don't get distracted. Keep your sentiment aside. Keep that your hatred, your ego and pride. Pack it to one side and let us finish this program so that you can be able to get something out of it. My brothers and sisters, history teaches us that every movement that seeks freedom faces challenges. We know that. If you don't know that by now, I don't know what to tell you. Every movement encounter opposition. Every movement encounter misinformation. Every movement encounters people who seek to weaken its resolve. So everything we are experiencing today, it is not just applicable to IPOB or the Biafran struggle. It is applicable to every other organization you can talk about that are fighting for freedom. Throughout history, whether we look at struggle for civil rights, national liberation, or social justice, we find that opponents often try to influence public opinion, create confusion, spread fear, and sow division among supporters. This is what the government of Nigeria is doing today in Biafran struggle. This is what Nigerian government is doing today in Biafran struggle. They create confusion. They influence public opinion. They spread fear and sow division among us, using people who are Biafrans. That is the most dangerous. Sometimes when I come across some videos, you will see women who claim to be Biafrans speaking Igbo language. Some of them say they lived in America or they were born in America, they were born in, and you see them denigrating the self-determination struggle of the Biafran people. People that does not know their left and right, who has not known I don't know how to explain it. How is self-determination a crime? How is it a crime for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to educate the people about the need for them to secure themselves and make a choice of what they want? You see how they create different narratives. The same thing they did to Mazi Nnamdi, that Mazi Nnamdi is the reason for the insecurity in Biafra land. That was the narrative they created for so long. They use the same people that we are fighting the struggle with. They use them to create a counter force that we are conducting a false flag operations in Biafra land to paint Mazi Nnamdi evil. The same thing is what they're doing against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today. Pushing different kinds of narrative, influencing public opinion. This was what they did to Mazi Nnamdi. They pushed lies against Mazi to the extent that today, when you mention Mazi Nnamdi, people begin to think of something negative. They created confusion, spread fear. They sowed division. They are not stopping. The same thing is what they are doing today against the Supreme Court because they have succeeded. Removing Mazi Nnamdi in the picture, who was taking the bullets? Because then all the pressure was on him because they knew he was the only man that was standing on their path to keep the Biafran struggle going. And now when they think they have succeeded in removing him, they are focusing on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Exact thing, the same exact thing today is what they're doing to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu enjoys public opinion. They know that 99% of Biafrans today are with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Even Nigerians that are not Biafrans, they are testifying the good of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. What did they do? They recruited his own people, his own group, his own people that he trained. They are the one today changing the public opinion. We have seen voice messages. Today they are going. Chige Dozim and Chinasa Woru group today, they are going around recruiting media warriors. They are recruiting people on media, including non-Biafrans. They are recruiting people to come and attack Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Just like the way they went and recruited Lord Nneka. They recruited Nneka Chimezie that is not a Biafra. She is not fighting for Biafra. She is a one Nigerianist, a hardcore one Nigerianist. Doesn't know anything about freedom fighting or struggle. They recruited Nneka Chimezie and furnished her with different kinds of lies. And because of her ego, pride, and interest, love for money, she fell into it. Today, she will be regretting why she fell into that, and she will pay a very heavy price for the lies she has stood against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. These are the people they are using to change narrative. That is why every one of us in the media, you must not be silent. You must not. The same thing they did to Mazi Simon Ekpa and painted him evil. Nigeria is evil. Nigeria is evil. They can use the media to destroy your reputation completely. Look at, for example, look at the Dizani. Look at the Dizani, former petroleum minister. Look at Dizani. Dizani that they crucified. Today, when you mention Dizani in Nigeria, the next thing that comes to the mind of an ordinary Nigerian man is a fraud. When you mention Dizani, the next thing that comes into the mind of an ordinary Nigerian person is fraud. But today, Dizani has been vindicated in the UK, set free. Dizani, the court have said that Dizani is innocent. She is not guilty. But Nigeria already have condemned her and made her a criminal. They have destroyed her reputation that whenever you mention Dizani, the next thing that comes into the mind of ordinary people now is fraudster. That is how devilish Nigeria can be. They influence public opinion, create confusion. They spread fear. The same thing they did in Mazi Simon Ekpa. They use this DOS of Chinas and Chike. They created false flag operation. They were using people to create false flag, including taking innocent life, which we have confessions that people have made. People they sent to go and kill people. And after doing it, they will come to media and they say it is Mazi Simon Ekpa. They say it's Simon Ekpa boys. They create voice messages, they create AI messages, they create voice, they create videos to tarnish the image of the ESN, the Liberation Army under Mazi Simon Ekpa. We have never seen anybody arrested and he said he's a member of Liberation Army that took an innocent life. We'll never see it. But we have a video of the ESN of Chinas Amworu and Chike Doziem that went and took the life of innocent traditional ruler, and they confessed on national TV. But yet, because you should have thought that this confession is enough to declare Chinas Amworu and Chike Doziem wanted. The confession of that guy is enough to make them declared wanted. But you see, nobody talked about them. Even after that revelation, they visited Nigeria. Even after the revelation, Nneka was on national TV still promoting them. People that a captured criminal confessed that look at the people that sent me. What else do you want to know? They influence public opinion, create confusion, spread fear, and sow division among us. IPOB have always been one. When they say autopilot, we were all IPOB. We didn't even give ourselves autopilot. It was them that called us autopilot. We said, okay, we go with it. Because by then, they have already destroyed the reputation and image of IPOB. The spirit of Biafra have left that name that time because of the evil they were doing. And we went our way, continued on our path, rescued many members of IPOB, rescued the ESN, and have been working up to the time of creating the Brigade, Biafra Government in Exile. We never look back. Up to the time of declaration, we never look back. And today, finally, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have given the call for everybody to come back under the family. The family where we belong, and Obiani where we belong. IPOB is our Anobi. That is where we belong. It don't matter, it don't care what you feel, how you think, your pride and your ego, the fear of the unknown. It is up to you. You are free and entitled to feel anything you want to feel. You are entitled to think whatever you want to think. It's up to you. The reality is not unique to any world movement. It is challenge that every organized cause must confront. Today, therefore, our focus is not on hatred. Our focus is not on revenge. We are not on a revenge mission. Our focus is not on attacking individuals. Our focus is on understanding the importance of unity, understanding the importance of critical thinking, understanding the importance of discipline and commitments to a cause that many people deeply believe in, the cause of self-determination of Biafra. There is need for us to have understanding of the importance of unity in Biafra self-determination, critical thinking, discipline, and commitment to a cause like the one we are pursuing. My dear brothers and sisters, one of the greatest danger facing any movement is internal division. I say it over and over again. I can say it 1,000 times for those who want to know. One of the most dangerous things you can talk about, internal division. Greatest danger facing any movement, internal division. External opposition can be strong. Listen, external opposition can be strong. External criticism can be loud. External pressure can be intense. But history shows that movements are often weakened when supporters begin fighting among themselves. There is nothing that weakens a movement like infighting. And that is why Nigerian government is deploying money, resources to see that they create confusion. And we are facing them head on. That is why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have taken the initiative to call us back to the family. We need to head back to the family. All these bickering, unnecessary accusations should stop. Focus on the purpose for which you are called. Self-determination. Wherever you are, focus on that. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did not destroy other groups. He never spoke against them. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still working closely with the Rising Sun, and Rising Sun, he didn't tell them to change their name or disband themselves. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is working with ambassadors of self-determination. He didn't tell them to disband or remove themselves. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is working with Avid. He didn't disband them. Likewise, every other meaningful group, if you are genuinely serious for self-determination, you must be under IPOB. You must be working with IPOB. You must be in line with the orders coming from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu through IPOB. It is non-negotiable. There is no two ways about it. That is the only family that we have. You can have other mushroom groups. You can have other groups of ideology, ways of doing things, opinions. But the family that holds us together is IPOB. Know that and know peace. The government is fighting so hard because they know that foundation. They know that that foundation is solid. They know They know that the spirit of Biafra, the truth that is buried in the IPOB, is so strong. That is why they are pouring resources to make sure they destroy IPOB. Are we going to allow them? Should we allow them to destroy it? That will not happen. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. When trust disappears, confusion grows. When confusion grows, progress slow. When progress slow, division becomes harder to achieve. This is why unity remains essential. Unity does not mean that everyone must agree on every issue. Unity does not mean that people cannot ask questions. No. Unity does not mean blind loyalty. That is not unity. True unity means maintaining respect for one another while remaining focused on common goals. Simply describe, this is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is calling for. This is what we are talking about. True unity means maintaining respect for one another while remaining focused on common goals. Let us face the enemies that are coming from outside. Not people asking for self-determination, fighting each other among themselves. That's insane. We have a greater enemy before us that we need to face and challenge, both locally and internationally. So why are we devoting ourselves to fighting ourselves? Unity means placing the collective interest above personal disagreement. That is unity. Unity means placing the collective interest above personal disagreement. It means understanding division benefits those who wish to see a movement weakened. You must understand that division benefits those who wish to see Biafra weakened. As we discuss the future of IPOB, the broader aspiration connected to Biafra restoration, many people emphasize the importance of leadership, organization, and discipline. For those of us that support Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the genuine Biafrans under Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remains a central figure. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remains a central figure whose message, influence, continue to inspire many people around the world, not just Biafrans. You can't change it. You can't wish it away. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remains the face of Biafra. It is only an idiot, it's only a fool, it's only a clown that will wake up and think you can remove the image of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and remain the same. Anybody that speaks against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu does not want Biafra to be free. Anybody that fights Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is automatically for the caliphate, the Janjaweed, is a one Nigerianist. It doesn't matter the title you give yourself. It doesn't matter what you pay yourself. As long as you are standing against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you are one Nigerianist. Because without Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Biafra will die a natural death. It will take another 1,000 years to see someone else who can fit in there. There's no person. It takes miracle. It will take miracle to get somebody like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu who can make the sacrifice Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made and still remain sane. It will take miracle to get someone else. As it stands today, he is the face of the struggle. He is the face of Biafra. Remove him and the struggle is dead. Leadership is a very important factor in maintaining direction and purpose within the Biafran struggle. Leadership is an important factor. No matter how, there must be leadership, and the supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, remains in that position. There is nothing you can do. There is nothing you can do. You just stop trying. Regardless of one perspective, it is important to recognize that strong organization require structure, discipline, clear communication. Without these elements, confusion can emerge. Just as we are seeing confusion now, right, left, and center. My brothers and sisters, let us now discuss the issue of false narrative. This issue of false narrative is the battle we are facing today. False narrative, propaganda, and lies. That is what this Nigerian government is using against the Biafran people. That is what the sacked DOS are capitalizing on. False narrative. What is false narrative? A false narrative is information that represents a distorted picture of reality. Because when we use all this grammar, false narrative, for you don't understand. A false narrative is information that represents distorted picture of reality. When you change the reality, you put something else. Sometimes it may contain fragment of truth mixed with misleading conclusions. That is why it is dangerous. False narrative. They will put some element of truth, sprinkle some element of truth, but inside it is buried a deep lie that will take critical thinking for you to know. False narrative. Sometimes it may involve rumors, and people will run with it. Sometimes it may involve exaggeration. They exaggerate. So many things are being exaggerated. So many. Sometimes it may involve deliberate misinformation. You see them deliberately misinforming the public. Deliberately misinforming the public. This is what they did against Mazi Nnamdi, misinformation. They did the same thing to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and they are still, now they are focusing on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to tarnish his image and destroy him completely. But remember, touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm. There is one prayer of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu I always pray every morning. I play it on all my programs. He said, if I have done anything against you for no reason, for no cause, if I have done anything against you for no just cause, if I have planned any evil against you for no just cause, may your plan succeed. May the full and Janjaweed overtake him. That is the prayer of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I play it every morning. And I say amen to that prayer. I pray it within myself. If I have done anything wrong against anybody or planned any evil against anybody, may all the wishes of the enemy take place in my life. But if I have not planned anything against anybody in this struggle, anything you are doing is going to bounce back to you. False narrative can spread rapidly in the age of social media. Social media have an advantage and has disadvantage. Today, it is very easy to spread this false narrative. It spread rapidly in this age of social media. A single message can reach thousands of people within minutes. A rumor can travel across continents before facts are verified. And the funniest thing is that some of us don't even care to verify. Share. Once you hear share, you share. You hear share. You won't even listen to the program. You're already sharing. You will see a title. You don't even read and understand. You don't even verify. You're already sharing. You help them to spread the rumors. This is why every responsible supporter of any cause must develop the habit of verifying information before accepting it as truth. Every one of us in this struggle, you must develop the habit of verifying information before accepting it as truth. That is what kept us in this condition today. They told lie against Mazi Simon Ekpa. You believe them. So many of you believe them. Today, what is happening? Everything they have said against Mazi Simon Ekpa today is exposed to be a lie. Today, now they are engaging Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, pushing lies against Mazi Nnamdi, and we are pushing back and revealing the truth. Every responsible supporter of this cause must develop the habit of verifying information before accepting it as truth. Including in my platform, if I say something, verify it before accepting. I'm not just telling for others, including in my own platform. When you join me here and you hear a message, please verify it before you take it. Don't be a sheepish follower. Ask critical questions. Ask questions where necessary. Whatever you don't understand, ask question. Don't just be a listener. Don't be a sheepish follower. Ask question. Seek evidence. Seek evidence. It is easier to get evidence today. In a world of technology today, you can sit in your room and find answers to questions that people are asking. Seek evidence. Examine sources of information that you are sharing. Examine sources of information you are sharing, you are reading, you are looking at. Think critically at all times. Do not allow emotion alone to determine what you believe. That is the most idiotic thing most of us do. Most of us are acting out of emotion. Your emotion will occupy you, take you first before you now realize. And the people we are dealing with know how emotional we are in the issue of Biafra. That was how they used that emotional blackmail to blackmail so many of you, and you believed their lies, and you joined them to attack Mazi Simon Ekpa. You joined them to make sure that Mazi Simon Ekpa is arrested. And today, finally, look at the same thing they did to Mazi Simon Ekpa is what they are doing to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today. The exact thing, the same propaganda lies, the same template. Today, content creators are joining. They are going now campaigning, looking for media warriors that will join them. They are going to Yoruba's media. They are joining on. You are still going to see many people join. There's one idiotic woman I saw. She said she's in the US. Talking rubbish, talking trash. They have recruited so many people. And they are approaching platforms, recruiting people. But you and I that knows why we are here and what we are doing, we must not relent. You must not look back. It is your duty to defend the face of the struggle. The supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoko. Do not allow emotion alone to determine what you believe. Truth deserves investigation. Truth deserves investigation. Truth deserves patience. Patience. Truth deserves careful consideration. Another challenge facing us in this very struggle today is propaganda. Propaganda is another great challenge that we are facing. Propaganda is information designed primarily to influence perception and shape opinion. Maybe you don't know. Propaganda simply means information designed primarily to influence perceptions and shape opinion. In a cause like our own self-determination, the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the political oppression against him, public opinion matters. Public perceptions matters. They know that we are getting sympathy from the world. They know that the world is paying attention. They know that the world is listening to us. And they are fighting every way they can to change the perceptions, to shape the opinion of the public against us. That is why they use propaganda, lies. That is exactly what the sacked DOS is doing today. Chike, Dozim, and Chinas and World Boys. They go to media, they dish out lies, they tell you things that will make you hate Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They accuse you. You see, one of the funny, that's why I say you cannot separate Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Mazi Simon. That is why when you are cleaning this mess, you must first of all acknowledge that Mazi Simon Ekpa was an innocent man. He committed no crime. There is no evidence anywhere that Mazi Simon committed crime. Even Nneka Chimezie herself testified with her own mouth and say it was Nigerian government that destabilized our territory. Nneka Chimezie has said it on camera. But all of a sudden, she now changed and said, oh, it is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that is causing the confusion. You see how they change perceptions. You see how they use propaganda to shape public opinion. After she have won the heart of Biafrans by telling that truth, that it is the Nigerian government that is responsible for the insecurity in Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said it. Mazi Simon said the same thing. And when this Imiezi was starting, she said the same thing, but all of a sudden she changed. And they blackmailed Mazi Simon. Give the dog a bad name to take him out of the way, then do what you have to do. Every one of us must acknowledge that Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoko was an innocent man, committed no crime anywhere. All he was doing is to pursue self-determination, protect the people from the terrorists that is taking the life of Biafran people, both those on uniform and off uniform. Today, you can see the havoc that the terrorists are still causing today. More people have died today in the hand of the terrorists than while he was outside. And more are going to die if nothing is done. Throughout history, governments, organizations, political actors, activists, media institutions, and many others have used persuasive messaging to advance their objectives. Because of this reality, every citizen has a responsibility to think critically about the information they consume. Every one of us as Biafran, you must think critically about the information you consume. Mind the platform you are listening to. Mind the video you are sharing and you're watching. You don't just share because you see a Biafran flag, you share. No, it doesn't work like that. Because somebody mentioned Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. No, time has come for us to be using our brain. We need to be very responsible in thinking. We need to think critically about the information we consume. Very important. Do not believe something simply because it is repeated many times. Don't just believe it because somebody just keeps singing something, saying it over and over and over and over again. You believe it. And that is what some of us do. Even when you know that this is not real, it is not true. Just because many people are talking about it, you begin to believe it. Always focus on reality. As I tell people, my platform is for reality. This is a reality platform. We don't just speak based on assumption, dreams, or wishes. We talk based on the reality. In all the information you see, think about the reality on the ground. It is very easy to find it out. It's very easy. In a world of technology, you don't need to be in a place to get information. You need to can be in your room and you get information in all parts of the world. Do not believe something simply because it is repeated many times. Do not reject something simply because it challenges your assumption. Don't reject something simply because it challenges your assumption, just like the order that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has given. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have called for unification, first of all, under 100 men. And today he recovered IPOB and asked us to unite together. Don't reject that call simply because the call challenges your own assumption. You just assume, oh, you have arrived. You assume you are in charge. You assume you have secured something. When meanwhile, you've done nothing. Because of your assumption, you reject the order that was given by the supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You should be ashamed of yourself. Stop assuming. Stop assuming. Because they have repeated some lies over and over and over in your ear, you begin to believe them. Even when you know that these are pure lies, unverifiable lies, you don't even have time to verify. And when the order comes from the supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you find it difficult to accept it. You reject it simply because of your own personal assumptions. You are just assuming. It's not as if you made inquiry. You are assuming. Your assumption. It is so sad. It is time to focus on reality. No matter what anybody says, always focus on the reality of the day. Dreams, assumption, and wishes are not the same as reality. Dreams, wishes, and assumption, they are not the same as reality. It is good to have a dream, but your dream might never come true. It is good to assume to help you get into critical thinking, but don't allow your assumption to overshadow you. It is good to wish for a better thing. Like every one of us, Biafra, we wish that we can wake up one day and they say, oh, Biafra has gotten independent, we are now on our own. This is our wish. We wish that we can sleep one day, wake up, and we are in our homeland. Biafra has now become independent. That is our wish. Has it happened yet? Not yet. Is it going to happen? We have hope that it's going to happen. But the reality is that it has not yet happened. So if somebody now comes to push a false narrative telling you that, oh, Biafra is a sovereign state already. Biafra has now become sovereign. You and I know that it is not a reality. That is just a wishful thinking. It's a wishful thinking. There's nothing wrong in having that wish. It's something we wish that it should happen, but it doesn't happen. The reality remains that today, Biafra land is under the control of Nigeria. Nigerian forces are still occupying our space. They are still the one in charge, running affairs in our land. That is the reality. Every other thing they are telling you is an assumption, is a wish, is a dream. Do not, because of assumption, wishes, and dreams, you reject something that you are supposed to do. Our supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is calling for unity. That every one of us come back under the IPOB have redeemed. And I say, he didn't tell you to go and fight anybody or go and destroy any group. No. He didn't tell you to attack any group. He has only laid a foundation. Anobiani, our family, IPOB is the family of all the Biafran agitators. IPOB is where we started. That is our home. Chike Dozem and China Samuru destroyed it, created different fashion. They made people to run helter skelter. And finally, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have regained it back. We can never forget our Anobi. That does not mean you cannot have your small mushroom groups where you can perform the way you want. because of different ideology, different opinions. Nobody stops you. The critical example is Avid, the Rising Sun, the Ambassadors of Self-Determination. These are agitating groups and some other groups that are working with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And you saw them standing with the new HOD that was put in place by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They are standing on the same pillar, pursuing a single purpose: self-determination for Biafran people. That is what I'm saying. It is not about name. It is not about your title. It's not about your group. It is about collective efforts, collective effort to push and pull down the enemy. So if you are one of those who is seeing IPOB as a threat, sorry, you are missing it. Anybody that is telling that IPOB, oh, it is just an organization, it is just an organization, it belongs to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that is a lie from the pit of hell. IPOB cannot be belittled as just an organization. It is not. IPOB is our family, the family of the Biafran people. Describing IPOB as just an organization is an insult. It's mischievous and evil. IPOB is our family. An obi, you don't sell it, you don't throw it away, you don't destroy it. And as I said before, that person that is telling you that IPOB is just an organization, ask him in that his own mushroom group where he or she is, tell them to show you their own registration. What is written in that registration? Tell them they should show you what is written in their own registration. If in their own registration they wrote country there, or they wrote nation, they registered as a country or registered nation, come back, I will join you. If they show you their own registration and you see registered as a nation or a country, come back here, present it to me, I will join you. So don't allow people to confuse you because they have said something over and over and over, repetition, and you get confused. Do not get confused. Do not reject something simply because it challenges your assumptions. Evaluate information carefully. Every single information that comes your way, evaluate it carefully. Seek multiple perspectives. Seek multiple perspectives. Examine every single evidence that is provided before you. Examine it properly. Most importantly, think independently. That is why I tell people sometimes when you come to my platform, keep that mentality of group aside. You can belong to any group. I don't have any problem with you. You can call yourself any name, give yourself any title. But when you come to my program, keep your title and your group aside. Come here as somebody who has conscience, seeking for self-determination. Whether you are a Biafran, a non-Biafran, even if you are one Nigerian, keep your mentality and Nigerian mentality aside. Come as an individual that is seeking for truth, willing to allow the truth to flow. That is the only way you can listen to us and you understand the message. But when you come here with already made up mind of anger, greed, envy, jealousy, blocking your heart, you can't understand the message. But when you free your heart and look, listen, and think about this message independently as a person that has conscience, then every information will be making sense for you, and you can be able to determine and know facts when you see them. An informed population is stronger than a manipulated population. My brothers and sisters, perception management is another powerful force. Perception management is another powerful force. Sometimes people focus less on reality and more on how reality is perceived. Did you hear me? Sometimes People focus less on reality and more on how reality is perceived. And that is why some people do not want to talk about reality, because they feel that when you speak about the reality of the time of heart, it will discourage. Some of them feel that when they say it will discourage their followers. When they tell their followers the real truth, they'll be discouraged. When they tell them the real truth, they will not be contributing to them again, they will not be following them again. So sometimes people focus less on reality and more on how reality is perceived. And because of that, they shy away from reality and calling a spade because of how people feel, even though they know that this is reality. But how people perceive it makes them run away from it. But in this platform, it doesn't matter how you feel. I don't care how you feel. I don't care what you think or what you feel. The reality is what we present. If you listen with a clear and pure heart, you will see the light. Then you will know which angle or position you are going to take and how you are going to pursue the self-determination of the Biafran, which must be under the supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Images, headlines, rumors, selective reporting, emotional language, and repeated messaging can shape public opinion. This issue of public opinion, it is one reason why every Biafra must be online. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did a very wonderful job on social media, and he trained many of us, and we are able to use social media today to counter so many lies they are pushing there. They are numerous. There is no day you come, you don't see one lie or the other against us as Biafrans, against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, against Mazi Simon Ekpa. And our duty is to follow them head on. Images. There are some images you will see. You begin to wonder. Headlines, the kind of headlines they use for Biafran people, the kind of headlines they use for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or Mazi Simon Ekpa. Rumors, selective reporting, emotional language, and repeated messaging can shape public opinion. This is why wisdom is necessary. Wisdom is necessary in this journey. Wisdom helps us separate emotion from evidence. Separate emotion from evidence. Wisdom helps us distinguish facts from assumptions. Wisdom helps us to remain calm during moments of controversy. We remain calm. We are not moved. When people become emotionally overwhelmed, they often make decisions they later regret. Just like many people have regretted their decision they took during the time of Mazi Simon Ekpa. During the time of Mazi Simon Ekpa, many of us made so many mistakes. You fought against a man who was fighting for you. You fought against a man who was standing in for you, sacrificing everything to protect the same thing you are protecting today. You joined the enemy to fight against Mazi Simon Ekpa, who was standing on to protect the image and legacy of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Today, you see how the work has become excess for us. You see how it is. You see how you feel the pain when what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going through. That was what Mazi Simon Ekpa went through. The bullet he was taking from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu then to stop them from attacking him. Therefore, let us be people of wisdom. We must be people of wisdom. Let us be people of patience. Let us be people who seek understanding before judgment. Now let us speak about another factor: blackmail and intimidation. Blackmail and intimidation is another weapon they are using against us in this struggle. Blackmail and intimidation. That is another one. Blackmail and intimidation. Throughout history, individuals involved in political, social, and advocacy movements have sometimes faced pressure, criticism, threats to their reputation, and an attempt to undermine their credibility. Such situation can create fear and uncertainty. The proper response is not panic. The proper response is not recklessness. The proper response is courage guided by wisdom. We must be courageous, guided by wisdom. Remain focused. No matter how they blackmail you, remain focused. Remain disciplined. Remain respectful. Remain committed to lawful and peaceful engagement. Just like we do in this platform. We give room for anybody to come, bring in your superior arguments. We engage you, we trash it. At the end of the day, the Biafrans will listen and make up their mind, call the result. A movement and respect when its members demonstrate maturity, responsibility, and integrity. My brothers and sisters, let us also discuss the role of saboteurs. The saboteurs. In every movement, there are concerns about individuals whose action may undermine collective goal. And they are so much in the Biafran cause. A whole lot of them. The best defense against harmful behavior is transparency, accountability, education, strong organizational principle. People should avoid making accusations without evidence. We should avoid making accusations without evidence. It doesn't matter who you are. Don't accuse anybody. No matter the differences you have with the person, no matter the arguments, don't accuse anybody without evidence. At the same time, organizations should encourage responsibility and ethical conducts among members. This is what we need. Responsibility, ethical conduct among us, the Biafran agitators. Trust grows when accountability exists. Confidence grows when transparency exists. Progress grows when integrity exists. As we continue discussing, I want every listener to understand something very important wherever you are listening from. I want you to understand this. No movement can succeed without discipline. Discipline is more powerful than anger. That is why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu always say, we must be disciplined. Almost in all his broadcasts, he said, we must be disciplined. Discipline is more powerful than emotion. Discipline is more powerful than excitement. When people are disciplined, they think before acting. Not acting and then you think. You think before you act. That is what people do when they are disciplined. When people are disciplined, they communicate responsibly. You don't just open your mouth and vomit everything that comes out of your mouth. When people are disciplined, they remain focused on long-term objectives rather than short-term distractions, as we see today. If you believe in a cause, like the self-determination of the Biafran people, represent that cause with dignity. Every one of us, we must represent Biafra with dignity. If you truly believe in the cause of Biafra self-determination, represent it with intelligence. Represent the self-determination of Biafran people with respect. Represent with responsibility. Do not allow frustration to control your actions. So many of us, frustration is already taking over us. And we take action out of frustrations. Do not allow rumor to control your thinking. A lot of rumors. Right, left, and center. You just buy into it, you share it, and before you know it, you're already advertising it. Do not allow division to control your relationship with fellow supporters. Don't allow division to control your relationship with fellow agitators. I don't have, for me, in this platform, it doesn't matter where you belong with. That's why I keep it open. I talk with anybody, I associate with anybody, and I can mingle with anybody. I can speak about any topic that I feel. You cannot limit me or cage me into this, that I will not talk to my fellow agitators simply because he belongs to a group. No. It doesn't work that way. Instead, let wisdom guide all our decisions. My brothers and sisters, every generation faces defining moments. Every generation faces challenges that test its character. The question before us today is not simply what we believe. The question is how we conduct ourselves while pursuing those beliefs. That is the question. How do we conduct ourselves while pursuing those beliefs we have? Will we choose unity over division? Will we choose truth over rumor? Will we choose discipline over chaos? Will we choose wisdom over emotion? Will we choose constructive engagement over destructive conflict? These are the questions that determine the future of our self-determination. As we conclude today's Sunday sermon, I encourage every listener to remain peaceful, remain thoughtful, remain informed, committed to the constructive dialogue. Support the value you believe in. Defend truth wherever you find it. Reject misinformation. Reject unnecessary division. Promote unity at all times. Promote education. Promote critical thinking. Promote respect. Promote discipline. Above all, remember that lasting change is built through perseverance, organization, wisdom, and commitment. Thank you all for joining me on this Sunday sermon, wherever you are joining from. May wisdom guide our decision. May truth guide our words. May unity strengthen our communities. May discipline shape our actions. And may we all work together towards a future built on justice, dignity, peace, and mutual respect. I appreciate every one of you that have been with me on this program this evening. And before we leave, we cannot leave without going into their conventional media to still confirm to the world that Nigeria is dead and gone. That is the only reason why I go to their conventional media every evening. So that when you hear the information that are coming from their own conventional media, you will not say that we are making things up. You will understand better that Nigeria is irredeemable. And when we say it, that Nigeria is irredeemable, it is not a joke. It is the truth. When we say Nigeria is a failed state, it is not to make anybody happy or angry. It is the truth. It's not a propaganda, it's not a lie. So this evening, we are going to go into their conventional media to also get the informations on their own discussion, present it to the world, and let the world be the judge. If that is how a sane country should function, if that is how a responsible country should function, that is why we will not relent. We will continue to expose their lies. We will continue to bring their propagandas, their lies, and all their evil before the whole world, confirming the end of the zoo. And that will also help the international communities to act as quick as possible and set the innocent lives in that contraption free. Let us hear what they had to say here as we round up on the program.
That countries are telling Nigerians that, oh, we have flagged individuals or companies who are involved in money laundering, terrorism financing, and the rest. The UAE gave us names at some point. The United States have flagged, arrested some individuals at some point. The United Nations have mentioned names of companies. There was a time the government of Nigeria were talking about stopping the activities of real exchange operators and cryptocurrency operators and the rest of them, all tied to terrorism financing. But we don't seem to have made much progress in that area. What do you think the problems are?
Well, let's start by saying that the fact that it took the United States thousands of kilometers away to help us fish out those who are financing terrorism in Nigeria is a failure of governance. I'll say this in the light of the fact that I'm aware that as far back as when Soludo was the civilian governor, there was a particular digital link that links all money deposit banks with the EFCC portal. And what that technology seeks to do is to monitor inflow and outflow of money. Because, for instance, I think when it started, it was 5 million naira for individuals and 10 million naira for corporate organizations, companies. And it was said then that once that amount hits an individual's account, there is a pop-up in the EFCC portal and it becomes a red flag. And at each of the branches of those banks existing back at that time, it was clearly stated in their notice board that the EFCC reserves the right to question any amount exceeding so and so. And I know that there was a review as a result of inflation and all that to scale up the amount. And I also know that there is this school rule that EFCC has to approve if you register a company. And that also mandates the banks, money deposit banks, to also scrutinize. And EFCC has the right to raise flags. But unfortunately, it shows that from what USA and the UAE are giving us, it shows that those people that are neck deep in these atrocities had probably bypassed the technology deployed such that they are off the radar of EFCC and monitoring agencies and our security operatives. So I consider it a slap on the face of Nigeria and Nigerian security that it now have to take UAE and American government to discover that somebody and 3 other companies are involved in money laundering for terrorism operations. Now, another thing again that I've also seen in all of this is that if USA has done this job, I think it is right for them to expose this particular Nigerian. the names are there. The names of, okay, in the report. And I think the larger question now is that with this name, this is not the first time. Like this is why they asked. You when you release. Yes, I think 411 then. 411. The government didn't do that. But America is taking it a step further. America says specifically that they will ensure, that because whatever they do is also going to affect America's national security. Now, does it look like America is trying to overstep by probably make an impression on the sovereignty of Nigeria? No. You see, terrorism is an international crime. And if you look at the network, there are links to Syria, links to Turkey. Fortunately, the country that we are running to come and protect us, come and support us in the fight against terrorism, has been linked to this. And Iran has also been linked to it. And then you have the Sahel region, where they make incursions to Nigeria. Now, in all of this, America is doing this because they don't want Nigeria to be a launch pad for attack on American interests. Not just American soil, but American interests. Of course, we all know that America has interest in our oil and gas. So they want to nip it in the mud before it gets out of hand, before it escalates beyond control. So America is also having the mentality of an enlightened, selfish interest in ensuring that they put their feet on ground so that they can take care of these people right here in Nigeria. I don't consider it as a sovereignty problem.
All right, thank you very much. Let's go virtual. We have joining us from Oka, Honorable Chidubin Ezekwe. Good morning to you. Welcome to the conversation. We'd like to establish contact with you. Let's have your audio feed. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Great.
Good morning, Nigerians.
Thank you very much. Now, my question is, if these allegations are true, that these companies are involved in terrorism financing, what does this say to banking sector? What does it say to intelligence reporting back home in Nigeria? The effectiveness of proper banking and monitoring of movement of funds.
Okay, well, the question is what does it say to proper banking, right? And then the movement of funds, right?
Well, you have a question. Go right ahead.
All right. So when things like this are heard, they just make me laugh. They make me laugh when I hear this kind of thing because the security challenge, the issue of security, is for me what I call bilateral peregrination. There is no issue with USA coming to help Nigeria and all this stuff. There is no issue about that. I don't have a problem with that. But what I would like to say is, if the USA tells us that, since they have already said this and they have already done this, this is actually very, very interesting. You understand? It's really, really very, very interesting. But I think it's something that they should have done since. It is something that they should have done since, not just something that they have.
But they're doing this now. They're doing this now.
Most of the things we see in the media, most of the things we look at in the media are not really as they see. They are either above what is reported or below what is reported. Yes. Most times, below what is reported.
Well, what's your point exactly? Because are you saying that we have more people doing, terrorism financing, or because I'm not sure I got your point. Your last statement.
There are people. Much people actually. Plenty.
Okay, a lot more people are involved. Okay.
There are. Yeah.
Yes. I'm trying to piece it together. So you're trying to say that a lot more people are involved in terrorism financing than being reported.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's it. And there are benefactors and there are beneficiaries.
Okay, but as an economic,
So they are not done saying what they have to say.
absolutely. But as an economic policy analyst, what does this say to the effectiveness of Nigeria's banking system, the regulators? Because the money is going through banks. And we know how some of these monies come to be. Sometimes ransom payments, some of them are not even reported. Sometimes a sale of goods and services with huge sums of monies that you can't really place a finger what they are meant for, and they go through the banking sector. What does it say about the regulator in Nigeria and how they monitor such transactions? Should we be worried back home?
Yes, we ought to be worried as a nation. As a nation, we ought to be worried. And these things, like I said, are not as we see. The agencies responsible for handling these things may actually have good plans, but government of the day, powers that be and powers that reign, may not actually allow them to do exactly everything that they want to do. This is the reason I said that there is more to this than what is reported and what the eyes can see.
All right, Ben, I would like to ask you this question. Now, this is not the first time, that Nigerian government is receiving this kind of information. The other time it was from the UAE, 411 names altogether. I think twice, another country. Yes. Also gave out names, of terror financiers. This is the second time America is coming up with this list, with another list, and we have a government, that has intelligence. We have the Directorate of Military Intelligence. We have the DIA, Director of the NIA, National Intelligence Agency, which operates more like the CIA, inter-country coordination and all of that. Yet they don't do anything, and the list that we get, we don't even do anything. Now America is taking up the challenge. What does that tell you about the sincerity of governments? Not just this government, of governments, specifically talking about the private government that first received that list. What does that tell you about their intentionality or sincerity in fighting the war against terrorism?
Yes, when politics has gone into everywhere, when politics goes into everywhere, both in security, in the economy, and everywhere, this is the kind of thing that you get. And that is why so many citizens out there lose hope. They lose hope. So what it tells about them is that it sends chills. It sends chills down the spine of citizens. And it makes everybody feel that the government is inept. That the government is inept. Because whatever you do in life, whatever you do in the position of authority sets precedence for what will happen tomorrow. So it's ineptitude. Okay. Absolutely ridiculous ineptitude.
Okay, it's ineptitude. And so, there's something I'm trying to fish out here now. And it's about a certain company. There are companies in Nigeria that have been identified, to have sponsored terrorism in this country. Yet, government seems to not do anything with that company, or about that company. And we see a situation where government is actively collaborating with such organizations. So, what does that tell you again? Is it that the government itself is complicit, or that the government, like the other day, the president cried out. He said, "Well, I'm facing a lot of problems. The cabal, they are against me." Talking about the cabal in the oil sector, talking about terror sponsors and all of that. And the president said, "Well, if you think that you are going to use insecurity, to push me out of office, or to ensure that I don't run in 2027, you might be making in fact, you will be making a very big mistake, because it will not stop me. I'm a stubborn politician." And you see how the entire country has been enveloped by insecurity and all of that. Yet you have a government that keeps on going into campaign. The only thing they talk about is 2027 and all of that. You have won it. We are going to win this and that. about this particular government? Are they sincere in trying to fight or in fighting terrorism?
Bold statements by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu there. Bold statements by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But you see, this issue of Jabberwocky innuendos and Jabberwocky reconciliations, mumbo jumbo declarations, and all these things actually amuse me as a citizen. We didn't begin to hear today about cabals, cabalocracy, the government of the cabals by the cabals and for the cabals. We didn't begin to hear that today. The government of the day should be the cabal, if at all there should be any cabal at all, you know. So the government of the day should be the cabal. This is actually Islam on the face of the Tinubu administration. So they have to do more. They have to do more. And they have to send the message across to Nigerians, to the ragtag and the populace, to the common man, to every composement in Nigeria, so that they will understand that they are not complicit. They will understand that they are absolutely straightforward. They will understand that security of lives and property remains the primary responsibility of any government in power. But making citizens feel that that government is in cahoots with the people who are responsible for this, making citizens think that government is working in tandem with these miscreants and these misanthropic elements who are capable of making people undergo sequestration involuntarily. No. It doesn't bode well for the future of Nigeria at all.
All right. Thank you very much, Chidube. Let me bring this back to the studio, Mr. Fanimo. Now, should foreign companies designate Nigerian firms as, should they designate Nigerian firms without, first of all, getting convictions in Nigerian courts?
No, if at the point of designating such companies, there must have been a lot of intelligence going into it and verified facts. Unlike Nigeria, where
the companies are in Nigeria, they're doing business. And
I know.
Some of these companies might have been approached by state governments or the federal government to come do business in Nigeria. So should they be designated out there abroad without the conviction coming from Nigerian courts itself?
You see, what I'm saying is, no court has convicted any of these companies, both in here and outside the country. But the point is, most countries that are accusing these particular companies, they are heavy on electronic banking. So they can trace transactions over time, where this transaction is coming from, where it is going. And in that, unlike here, where we have more of currency in circulation than deposited funds that you cannot really trace. For instance, in UK, you don't go to a shop and say you want to buy a car with your bag holding all the cash. You have already raised red flag. But in Nigeria, you can go to any car shop, take as much as 100 million naira in cash, and say you want to pay for the car. The seller will sell, he will give you the car. You understand? So what we are saying is, they are just intentional in mentioning these people because they have done enough investigation on these particular entities. So if Nigeria will now take up the gauntlet at this time to also rely on those investigations and use it along with what they have also found out locally to prosecute these people. What America is trying to say is that if you cannot do this on your own, we have done it for you to this extent.
So in essence, that's the spite.
I've said it in my opening intervention. That is a slight.
Okay.
Why do we have all these security agencies? You just mentioned NIA, you mentioned DMI, you mentioned ICPC, and all of them. So what are you doing? Okay, and there are precedents to all of this.
All right.
The governor was prosecuted and over 100 charges, 131 to be specific. And in less than 1 year, he was discharged and acquitted. That same governor was accosted and he was taken to in UK court, by second appearance in court, he pleaded guilty.
All right.
Because the evidence was overwhelming.
All right, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you. The government has said they will reintroduce cashless policy, a cashless policy that Nigerians went through in 2022, more than 2023 elections. So how
political cashless policy.
Well, government has said it will reintroduce it, especially particularly to curb the financial flow of terrorists and the rest of them, the ransom payment and the rest of them. How do you think that would happen? How effectively would it?
You see, for you to know that it's not a good way to work, that's not the panacea.
You think it's something?
You recall that when law-abiding Nigerians were looking for as little as 2,000, 3,000, at that period, I exchanged 20,000 for 12,000. Somebody took commission of 8,000 Nigerian currency to my own money.
So basically,
now at that time we saw videos of bandits, terrorists with gifts of new currency notes, not even old ones. They were displaying it. How did they get those ones? Today, if you go to any bank, they'll tell you they don't have new notes. But go to any party, you see people displaying new notes. How do they get it? So whatever they say, the people will still circumvent it.
All right,
it's not the panacea of this problem.
Okay. All right.
Now, I want to read out something. Now, in 2016, the United States government denied billionaire businessman Gilbert Chagori the visitor visa based on an FBI intelligence report alleging that he provided financial support to a Lebanese politician, Michael Aoun, whose party was in a political coalition with Hezbollah, an organization designated as a terrorist by the United States. You know Hezbollah, you know what they do in Lebanon and all of that. And the affiliation with Iran. Now, this same Gilbert Chagori is a close friend of our president. They don't deny it. Now, this Albert Chagori, his company is the one handling the Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway. And this is a man that our president surreptitiously went to France and conferred on him the second highest national honor from the Nigerian state, and he conferred it on him in faraway France and all of that. So, if you put all of these things together, what does it tell you about this government, responsibly acting, to fight terrorism? Does it tell you anything? Does it say anything?
You see, you just mentioned it. Even before 2016, this man had been under the radar of investigators from America. Don't forget that he was originally a Lebanese before he naturalized to become a Nigerian by naturalization. And so it was very easy for the investigators to be able to have enough evidence against him. But unfortunately, these things were exposed to the then president, late Buhari. But he didn't do anything. He didn't act on some of these things. But between then and now, I don't know what really happened. If he had extricated himself from these allegations or not. But I've not seen or heard from any quarter if he had how do I put it now? If he had been investigated or he has been investigated. If he has been exonerated from blame over these allegations. But now, you see, I don't know what transpired between then and now. For him to be qualified to take as much as, I think, Lagos Calabar Highway is about 3 trillion or more. 800 kilometer highway. No, I say in Naira, it's about 3 trillion. 3 trillion, And for me, that particular contract, I've not seen government defending it that it went through due diligence. There was no competitive bidding, at least to my knowledge. I stand to be corrected by whoever is in charge. Maybe the works minister of mine would have to explain that. But the point is, he should have been allowed to clear his name before this contract gets to him. That's my own opinion. But whatever happened behind the closet, I don't know.
All right then. Chidubem, let me ask you the same question I asked our studio guest here about the issue of the reintroduction of cashless policy. How far do you think that will go in curbing activities of insurgents, terrorists, ransom?
What happened in Nigeria?
Enough for ransom and rest. Go ahead.
In 2022 and 2023 was not redesignation of Naira, it was confiscation. Naira. It was a disgrace. What happened in Nigeria then was a typical opprobrium. It was nonsensical. However, the fact that it was targeted at politicians more than it was targeted as positive change and transmogrification, the fact that transmogrification turned into transmutation in that particular policy should make us think. When you want to say you want to introduce cashless policy or you want to redesign Naira, what you would do if you want to redesign Naira is how much is in circulation? 2 trillion. You replace the new one, 2 or 3 trillion, and you keep it in the bank. When somebody comes to deposit that old one, you give him the new one equivalent, the person wants cash. That is that. Then the implementation of cashless policy, if it is going to be implemented well, diligently, brilliantly, if it is going to be implemented with discipline, with the absolute decorum and the requisite order, the modus operandi and modus vivendi, it is going to be better for us as Nigerians. However, many Nigerians, the average Nigerian, does not understand how these things work. The average Nigerian does not understand the advantages of this thing and how it works. So, introducing cashless policy is a very good idea, but introducing it without having to enlighten people, without having to make them understand, without having to better the system, that is where the problem is.
Do you think this reintroduction is politically motivated? Maybe to prevent somebody from throwing cash around? Since elections are just around the corner, it's similar to what happened in 2022.
I've not really seen evidence to back up that particular issue. But when I see, I will say. But the one of 2022 and 2023 was a disgrace.
All right. Well, let's move on to another conversation, gentlemen. Nigeria Senate moves to approve fake police bill or constitutional amendment. This story after this break. Stay with us.
This is Orange Adam Road. Bandit has taken over the road. You saw them. Yes. Yes.
So he said that they were shooting. That is it.
Àwọn arábìnrin Is anybody kí làdúgbò bí yìí? Kí ni orúkọ bí yìí? Àkàlẹ́ bí adé. Agege Express. This place. They can't. Mama, this is Agege Express. Okay. Okay. This is Ajede. Ajede, you know, take you before the J3. We don't reach J3. We are going this way. Okay, J3 is at the back. Okay, if you are coming from Ore, we pass a J3. This is Ajede Express on Ogun State, axis of Ore, Sagamu Road.
Yeah, this is life happening today, 27th of June, here in South Africa, Rustenburg. Here is my building. The march, Idula, xenophobia, they came now, they throw everything out here. And when the police came, the police did not do anything. Police said this community, that there is nothing they can do. Now they are already in the building, sharing all the rooms to themselves. This is what is happening in South Africa. Life and direct is happening now. Let the whole world see it. Foreigners are no longer safe in South Africa.
FM, I am Solomon of First Out Top Stories. 40 repentant Boko Haram terrorists shortlisted for 2026 Nigerian Army recruitment undergo medicals in Borno. Article PRP Falana raised concerns as LPA and Fenferry Sonwolo back move for safe release. 9 dead and 27 rescued as search ends at collapsed Lagos building. INEC here to receive budgeted funds for 2027 general elections. On international news, Venezuela quick down to rate rises to 230 2005, the search for survivors continues. And as sport Babe versus Haaland as France face Norway in the World Cup will decide that. Those are our top stories. Details coming up now. First on the news, at least 40 repentant Boko Haram insurgents have been shortlisted for the Nigerian Army's 91st regular recruits intake RRI 91. Multiple security sources familiar with the recruitment process have said the shortlisted candidates were set to be part of the 3,740 repentant members of Boko Haram who integrated into society by the Borno State government. The Nigerian Army's 2026 recruitment for the 91st regular recruits intake RRI is actively underway. This screening exercise, which commenced in June 9, 2026, is being conducted in accordance with established military standards. Both the application and screening processes for the main intakes took place in the first half of the year. According to military source, 40 ex-Boko Haram fighters sponsored by the Borno State government underwent medical examinations on Wednesday at the Nigerian Army 7th Division Military Hospital, the Manori cantonment in Maiduguri, as part of the screening process to join the army. Another officer, a lieutenant, wondered how they were shortlisted in the first instance by the Nigerian Army. Boko Haram and its offshoots, Sahel State East African province, have killed thousands and displaced millions of east Nigeria. The terrorists also attack critical infrastructure, and insurgency has spread to other parts of the country, including Adamawa, Yobe, Abuja, and Kano. The Nigerian military has repeatedly claimed that insurgency has been largely defeated, frequently downplays any losses. In recent months, soldiers have been targeted by insurgents. More than 1,000 soldiers and officers have reportedly been killed since January 2021. Now, the Senate's passage of the state police bill has triggered fresh opposition from a model voter act.
Same security
is to officially use them
How
as a form
that I want to achieve.
This non-kinetic approach to fighting insecurity. I'm not sure this was what Nigerians thought that would look like. Was that what you were thinking?
No. Every time we have this idea of doing something, when it gets to Nigeria, we actually
take it to a different level.
Analyze it or we politicize it. That is the problem. Now, the question I want to ask is this: you want to integrate, people who are criminals. You said they have repented, they have been radicalized. You want to reintroduce them into the community, and the best place you could put them is the same security
that are supposed to be fighting.
That fought them. The same security that fought them, that apprehended them,
that repelled them.
Yes,
and whatever adjective
you didn't even think of anywhere. You didn't put them in the local government where they will sit down somewhere, be working, where they will monitoring them. You didn't put them in maybe teaching where they will be talking about how this security doesn't pay. You get it? You didn't put them in maybe people who do road construction. You didn't put them in the same place where gradually will be, seeing how they are integrated.
You need to employ them as information source to fight insecurity.
You decided to put them in the same apparatus, the same security apparatus that is responsible for fighting them, the same apparatus that apprehended them, the same apparatus that got them and subdued them. You decided to integrate them back. So enemies will now be looking at enemies in the military. Enemies will be looking at enemies in the police. Because you are the one who got me. I could have got away. That's what the criminals will be thinking. You are the one. They'll be looking at the officer that you achieve. If I achieve that thing as a terrorist, I would have been promoted to a higher position. You, as the officer, are the one that stopped me. And then we are looking at each other face to face like this. So how do you now say that there will be a rapport? Are you telling me there will be not something like a revenge? That is how it's easy for these terrorists that you call repentant, to infiltrate and cause problem in the palace where you put them. I have seen videos, pictures of how these terrorists decimate barracks, and then you'll be wondering, in a barracks controlled by a general, you could have over 1,000 or 500 soldiers there. Do you know the security they man around? Do you know the spies around that barracks? Do you know they always have something very high in the structure, which you see military in those structures up there, using binoculars to monitor whatever goes round. Then the question is, how did those terrorists got close to the barracks and they decimated the barracks? And so if that thing did not occur from inside, there was an attack from inside the barracks before the one from outside now came. Because you have integrated enemies together in the same place, you put them back there and they'll be looking at each other. You shot me in the leg. And then you think I have forgotten.
I'm trying to see the logic.
So you can see so many flaws. So there's no advantage at all in this integration they are talking about. And you put them in
to play the devil's advocate, is it possible that the reason why they're being integrated into the Nigerian army is to officially use them as a form wherein they are being uniform?
You have a child. Let me say you have a child. Somebody has a child, and the child is known to commit a lot of vices. And then you talk to the child. The child says, "Okay, I've changed." Are you going to start believing that child? That will be going to say, "Okay, I will see it from your behavior to see whether you have changed or not." Is that not it? Now, which behavior is it the best behavior to see that these terrorists are repentant? So put them in the same apparatus that subdue them. It doesn't make sense, my God. It doesn't make sense. So that's why they say the military is infiltrated. Our security apparatus is infiltrated by the same government that said is protecting us. Because you didn't integrate these criminals who you said have repented in a soft employment, for God's sake. Put them in a soft employment where they can be monitored and gradually they'll fit into the society. You now put them in the same security apparatus that apprehended them. I mean, does it make sense?
One is tempted to ask, how long did the rehabilitation go on? Because rehabilitation takes a whole lot of time, sometimes years.
Yes.
To rehabilitate.
I don't know how to do that radicalization, because it's a mental thing. How do you tell somebody you have hurt, or it's a criminal who has killed people, who have raped, who have collected huge money for ransoms? You caught such people, you now said within a few months you have radicalized them, and then what do you do? How do you know cognitively? This has to do with mental. You have already disarmed them. The next thing is for you to disarm them cognitively. We call it cognitively in education. From their brain. You don't know what they are thinking from their brain, from their mind. So for you to know that they have actually changed, it has to be a gradual. You have to put them in a safe, monitorable situation, and then gradually see that truly they have, been properly de-radicalized. Not this one they did within short time, and then they become into the military, for God's sake. Into the military
for them to bear up.
I mean, how do you not monitor? You now give them the same arms you took away from them some months ago. You gave it back to them. I mean, look at that. You didn't put them in a safe place where they will never touch hands. Because for them to hold their hands again, see, this is psychology. Somebody who knows how to use arms, maybe a gun, he has killed many people, he has raped, he has got involved in this terrorism, and then you took the weapon away from him. Are you taking the brain, the knowledge that he has acquired, the understanding he has acquired doing these criminal things? Have you taken it away from such person? Now give the person the gun again. That mentality came back immediately because he's holding what he's used to. Yeah. And then before you know it, he's back in that thing. That is not how to de-radicalize, for God's sake. You de-radicalize by putting that person in safe spots. That person needs to get employed. Put him in safe spots where you never come across, you never see anything that has to do with weapons, and then you begin to monitor.
Serious monitoring.
And then you begin put them in local government for them. Let them work in local government. You get it?
Even local government is not even safe.
No, there are places where they can work in local government now. Local government is just about papers now. They go about writing papers and whatever.
What if they don't have the educational background?
They said they train them there now. Didn't you look at what they said now? They said they also they train them skills. They train them whatever. They said they train them. What do you train them about? So if you train them about skills, they cannot get involved in building in the local government. Get involved in road monitoring or construction. Get involved in things that has to do with local government. Gradually, people see that within few months or 1 year or 2 years, these people have actually been changed. But you de-radicalize them in few months, you are returning them back to the same harm. The harms, they now start bearing harms, and then what do you expect them to do? That's what they are used to do all over all their lives now.
Another thing of sort of note, rather, as I said, we got this information from Sahara reporters. The fact that the senior military officers are able to anonymously give this information to journalists shows how disillusioned they are.
Yeah, how afraid they are about that. They are unacceptable. This thing is how chaotic, how problematic it is for them since they've been doing it. You get it, but they don't allow them to talk. If you talk now, they'll put you.
They will court martial.
Yeah, court martial you.
Another question, too. I mean, this is why whenever the president change military leadership, Nigerians are skeptical about what leadership change will do, because this is another soldier goes, soldier comes situation, because these military leaders can only work to the extent that principle that the president and commander-in-chief wants them to work.
Yes.
They can only go how far they can go. And that is why it's not also surprising that some of these military leaders, by the time they retire or they leave that position, a lot of them start writing books and start saying the truth. And then you begin to ask, you have all this knowledge, you have all this information, you have all these solutions. Why didn't you implement these solutions while you were the head of the military or the head of Air Force? Why didn't you?
The reason is because of the system. They go along with the system. If that system will continue to be like that, but one day they will leave it. They forgot it, that one day they will leave it. They will go back into the society, which the system is expected to operate effectively. And then they will now face the same challenges people were facing when they were in the system. You get it? Therefore, that's why you see in a normal society, you see reasonable people resigning. Just come out and say, I don't want to be part of your government again. Because what you are doing is against my ideology. Step back and then you'll be able to talk.
We don't have resignation culture.
Because everybody is about selfish. Most of us, we're about this selfishness. No, let me just get what I want to get from me and my family. But you forgotten that you and your family cannot exist alone in the whole community. You go back into that community one day, and then you face what they are facing. That bad road, you face it. That insecurity will be part of. That's why you see they are targeting generals now. These same generals have been general. They have been generals and they've been controlling battalions, controlling weapons and resources. But when they're supposed to do the right thing, they say, no, I'm resigning because this thing that the government is doing is not supposed to. What is it supposed to do? I will resign, then I'll be able to talk. They forgot that they thought you died here.
And one thing is for sure, though, there is a crack in the military formation. How far or how detrimental do you think this crack will be to the Nigerian army? Because, we don't know how long the rank and file and junior officers of the Nigerian army, we don't know how long they will keep quiet before they start voting. And that's all because, the revolution is what brought, what's the word? Brought denial of the coup situation that happened because there was a lot of back and forth. There was a back and forth. There was no coup. You know,
try them. You couldn't try them.
Exactly.
I've never seen a society like Nigeria in the whole world.
And that's why there were some rumors going on that this Nigerian army, these people that have been tried for coup, there's something going on, some deep rot and corruption going on in the Nigerian army that these people are fighting against, and that's why they are being marshaled under the guise of coup.
Because when you say you capture people for attempting to plan it, and that means you already have a law in broken. Okay, for you to capture them and say kill whatever, that means you already have laws they are broken. Then the moment you capture them and then you have your witnesses and then you have the law they broken, you get it. There was the next thing. You can't detain them. The law doesn't say you should detain them for that. He said present them to court and then let everybody argue their cases. Now, you don't hear anything about it again. It has died down again.
Well, according to them, it's a military tribunal.
Which one is a military tribunal?
It's a secretive tribunal.
See, they didn't plan
a secretive court
against any military officer.
It's against the Federal Republic.
It's against the civilian government. So they're supposed to try them using the civilian method, which is the constitution and the normal court. That's where they're supposed to be taken to and try, because we are not operating a military system of government. We are operating a civilian with a constitution and a House of Assembly with a president. And that thing they committed, the offense, is a treason against the state and the president, who is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces and the chief of staff. You get what I'm saying? Now, they have committed. The moment you have all the evidences and the law is broken, they present it in court. Because when you get to court, what the court will ask for is which law have they broken?
Well, the state police, there's a whole back and forth on it as far as the general public is concerned. Some prominent Nigerians have raised concern that despite the welcome development of state police, there's still a huge number of concerns. Atiku Abubakar from Falana are some of the high personalities that have raised concern about the state police. There have been questions about the timing of the reform, the federal government's credibility to implement it, the preparedness of states to sustain the policing structure and stuff like that. Now, when you look at these concerns and skepticism, do you think it's underride or override the need for state police based on the situation that we are in at the moment?
That's why I said Nigeria, when it comes to Nigeria, you are dealing with a fictional book. You know, a fictional book that is not real. Like this Avengers film where somebody is flying all over the place and then you know this is not real. Yes, that is the way Nigeria is. It's totally not real. You know, it's not real.
Kind of abstract.
I don't understand because okay, we know state police is a necessity. We know it's a necessity in running a government. We know that local government policing is absolutely important. It's necessary. But the thing is this, when it comes to now making that law to establish it, that's where we have problem in Nigeria. That's why I said Nigeria is a fiction. How? You see them passing it in the hall. You see them doing. The question is, you want to do something for 200 million Nigerians, and then a small bunch of people that call the rest is okay. It's a normal thing. Sit down. Is this something you need to do in a short time? For God's sake, where we have this, cohesive, this society that is homogeneous. I mean, it's heterogeneous.
Well, some would argue that it's desperate time. Calls for desperate measures.
When you have a desperate time, you can't say because there's a criminal in the house, you start firing everybody. You kill the innocent and the criminals together. Is that what you want? No. Now we have an issue, and then we say, okay, one of the solutions main solution is to have state police. Then you want to have state police, and then you pass it in the next two weeks, or 1 month, or 2 months. Is that the way to do it? No!
In other words,
Because you need to do it to achieve what you expect it to achieve. And that's why you need to allow it to pass through serious scrutiny. Because you want it, there's a problem. And then you think this is a solution.
Because, you know,
and then you can't use that solution to create more problems.
Generally, Nigeria has always had a policing problem.
Then you need to make sure that you go through, you go through the due process. Give it time. Don't let it follow due, so that by the time we are presenting it, we are starting it, it will be so effective. This plan they are getting it. Ask them, where did they get the idea from? Did they tell anybody? They just are beginning to do that. Are you bringing it from heaven? Are you bringing it from magic? Are you know?
Well,
you're supposed to sit down and see. Everybody is supposed to present it. So you go around, send delegates all over the world, see where it's working.
The Inspector General of Police was actually involved. He actually presented the blueprint.
That is not enough. No, we don't need the Inspector General to present the blueprint. We need a committee of experts. One, retired
police officers.
Yes, the military, because they also have their own police, military police. You must have got some ideas. Civil societies, past governors, educators, professors,
legal
technology, whatever, psychology, those and that. They must contribute, because the psychological mentality must always be put here. How do you train them? Do you train them the way we have this police now, where you see police carrying AK-47 and they're shouting at a civilian, I will deal with you. He's carrying gun, and both of them are shouting at each other. Is that the type of training?
Let's not even talk about the training school. Have you seen that?
Yes, see that.
Yes.
So these are plans. You don't conclude. You need to go around the world. You go to US, go to Canada, go to Mexico, go to Britain, go to Europe, go to Japan, India, go to countries in which they have stable policing, and see how they design it. Okay, we want to do policing. To look at in education, we call it comparative education. There's comparative policing, comparative politics, comparative economy. You need to compare every other person's own.
In other words, comparative analysis.
Best from all of them, so that you can be a model for all. If our US will be looking at us as, I like the way Nigeria is doing their own. Let us do it, because you have compared their own, you have seen their flaws, you'll be able to put it right, so that you do something that is better than all of them in the world. But now you are doing it in a hurry. We'll now come back to the same problem again, if worse.
Again, and let me play the devil's advocate. On paper, the state governors are known as the chief security officers of the state. On your practical, that was not the case. And then there's already regional police, Amotekun,
they are not police, they are just vigilantes.
Yeah, but still, they were assisting the police, you know, insecurity and all that. And then they already have these security events, you know, they've been going on for years. So some would argue that somehow there is a semi-structure there. All they just need is framework to start actualizing and start practicalizing it.
No. Vigilantes are different from police, because vigilantes are not allowed to bear arms.
Now I'm happy you're saying this, because I have an altercation yesterday with an ABC chieftain where we're talking about, I mean, it's a program in Nigeria debate, we'll talk on politics ahead of 2027. And an APC guest I was talking to, I asked that, how do you convince ordinary Nigerians to vote for the APC up to 2027, considering they're not satisfied with what the APC are doing at the moment? And he started with security. While he said the government needs to do more, he was trying to transfer the blame to the state governors, you know, from the president. And I retorted saying the state governors are tied, because on paper, in practical terms, they can't do much.
They don't control any
Well, he said that is not true. That Amotekun and so that they've been doing a lot. And then he mentioned on those states where he's, according to him, although state is now safe thanks to the state governor, they've been doing well with the policing and and all. And of course, it got so heated, when I mentioned Lagos. I said Lagos is not a safe space. They may not be having the high-profile mass kidnappings.
But kidnapping is going on in Lagos now.
Yes,
Going on.
mass kidnappings and bandit attack in Lagos. But the crime is quite huge. I mentioned one chance. I mentioned the little kidnappings going on, and why nightlife in Lagos is dead compared to how it was 20-30 years ago. And then obviously, and then you started insulting me, and then having back. So we also talked about bearing arms. I told him Amoteco, I don't have the constitutional right to bear arms. And he said, no, Amoteco bear arms. They carry arms up and
what type of arms? Somebody's carrying a gun, and the enemy want to go and fight is carrying AK-47.
More sophisticated.
Machine gun that can shoot 1,000 bullets at it. Machine gun, do not even AK-47. Now, you now tell me that the person who carry a gun is carrying a weapon. Gun, for God's sake, or shotgun that will shoot only 2 bullets. You are somebody else's gun that will shoot like 50 or 30 something bullets at you, and you put another one back and finish you. In fact, it bases your beat anyhow. Now, that is what you see. That is what you see. When they want to do something, instead of them to think very well and say, okay, this idea is coming, it's a good one. Let's bring it in. The next thing they want to do is to politicize it. They want to make sure that their administration is my own administration that did it. That's what they have to
political campaign.
Yes, during my administration that we did state policy. Whereas that is going to cause more problem based on your blueprint. There's no force in that blueprint that what you are even trying to
bad foundation.
Yes. Look at this issue of rehabilitation, integration, repentance. They do it in some countries. Even America do it. In fact, they will give that person if you are jailed for 10 years. They will tell you that you can release some information about what they will reduce it to maybe 5 years, 4 years.
Some kind of a deal.
Yes, a deal. Not that you pick the person, in action, a criminal in action. Now bring it and say, okay, we have spoken to him. He has sworn with whatever he believes in, and then we are returning it into the military. Look at that. How many things God?
Now, talking about Lagos, let's come to Lagos, where the Lagos State Police Command says the explosion of the shoe market machine in Lagos was not caused by IED or terrorist activities, sabotage, or any form of criminal use of explosion. What do you think about it?
I would say I thank God that they are saying this, but I'm also skeptical and afraid because the way they said it doesn't prove anything. There was one that was said by the same police, and then the same police is telling us another one. The one that was said before,
there were lots of conflicting reports.
Yes, the one that said it was ID, his explanation was even far better than the one that said it was not an ID. So if you are coming up with a contrary information, you should give us in details. Oh, so and so you describe that scene, how it happened. And then we can believe it. You can't just come up and tell us it was just something there that was. Are we babies? Are you talking to a 1-year-old child? So that after you have finished saying what you are saying, this child did not accept you beat the child. You get it? Somebody, the same police said it, and you want to tell them that the person that said was drunk at the time he said it, or didn't visit the scene. He got to that place, saw his evidences, and said no, it was an explosive IED. And then the same police is coming up with a contrary information. That is not a problem, but convince us, because what he said that is not an explosion is not convincing. That is the problem I have. The police should come and convince us, give us a detail, a description of the scene, how it happened. No, the person, it was not an explosive IED. What happened was that so and so person, or so and so can you put so and so something here, and so, and this is how it happened. And then everybody will follow as yes, this is true. Truly, it is not an explosive, but not the way they are coming up to just tell us it's not an explosive, it was just somebody who will believe that story. Because the one that said, the same police that said it was IED, the explanation was more detailed than the one they are coming up that is shabby. They should go and do the better thing and come up with a better story that convince us that it is not an IED explosive.
Well, I just pray, we just pray that the terrorist activities the time we see happening in not Lagos right now. That's because it is good. It is good to be on the
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. And to be a question, and I'm saying it out. How many of these Okada riders? I'm not saying move Okada riders. How many of them do the government have their information profile? Do you know where they come from? I am telling you.
Not just Okada riders, even the Keke.
See, some of them, if you tell them your address, it's operating this Okada in your community, and then you board the Okada and say, I'm going to so street or number, he will take you somewhere else. And you not say, so you now see somebody who now be directing you. And then the question is, if this person who cannot speak your language, can't speak English,
don't even know the terrain.
Don't know the terrain. How did he get the Okada that is riding? And then it's bypassing, and you see police here, you see NURT collecting money, you see area boy collecting money, you see local government collecting money from them, tickets, they give them tickets. And then the local government does not have information about that person that they are collecting money from.
But is that surprising?
That is a security breach. Because that person, let me go for that. When it takes you to your house, you have reviewed your information to that person. And then you go, you don't see it again, but he knows that that's where you live. If you now want to pass information, maybe somebody told him to trace you, he's already giving information. And then he can commit a crime and then disappear, you never see him again. Because you don't have a proper. What is wrong with the local government, for God's sake? Giving them
but
form to fill, put your passport, fill your form. Where do you come from? What is who do you know here? Where do you know? And then sign them uniform and number.
Nigeria, we've always have this data connection problem. Even with technology, the internet, AI, it's not really. We don't have an accurate sense of video of our country.
Every time we talk about data or data, let me pronounce it like Ibadan man.
No, data, it is correct, and data is American pronunciation. Data is British pronunciation. So it's good. We check that way.
Now, when we talk about data, we're always talking about the federal government. But it's totally wrong. Because federal government doesn't have the land. The federal government has no land. It is what it collects from the state and the local government that is using. Now, the question is, if the data in the local government is wrong, the data in the federal is going to have problem. I am telling you. Now, this local government will never collect data. It doesn't care. The state, its own data is just managing. The federal government will not have its own data scatter. Now, the thing is this. Why are we not concentrating more? Because to be secured has to do with your environment. Your local government is your environment. It's the closest government to you. Now, when that local government doesn't secure you, how will the federal government secure you? How will the state secure you? If the local government doesn't secure you, because the local government is closer to you and it knows where you are. If the local government doesn't secure you, who will secure you? That's why the local government, that autonomy for local government must, as the fact, I don't know what is even delaying it.
Because of time. Lasema, that's Lagos State Legislature, she at 4 a.m. This morning.
This is from Biafra's Got Talent. We are letting Biafrans know the reason why we should remember those who gave their lives for us, those who died, that we may live.
You died to end my suffering. You died fighting for my freedom. Your blood is the seed of redemption. You are my inspiration.
The deed no wrong with them, military shots at them. 67 to 70, we remember them. 2016, 38 May, memory still lives in our mind till today. Wonder why they refuse to publicize the genocide. The world media turn blind eyes to our plight. It's time to arise, land of the rising sun. Let's rise one more time, let's rise.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Ipocha massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright. Tell them I started there. Remember when me tell you say I started there. Yeah, I remember that what I called a saboteurs. Like a papa nuku, oh them they were bonito. Me tell you what I look pandi, what pandi samiro. Me tell you what I day. For we the fall and the rest of man I tell you what I am. Me never give up. Me tell them
heroes, I want to promise you something today. We must fight together, no retreat and no surrender. We must hold them down till the end of time. The most important thing is that we will restore Biafra.
I look up to the sky with tears in my eyes for other Biafrans and for freedom had to die. We will never forget you as the days go by. You are always in my heart, you'll never be apart. They fought for our freedom, they died for our freedom. They fought the Nigerian soldiers in the war front without food, without guns, for our freedom, for our life, for our own good, for our children. We love them, our heroes, we want them.
My heart bleeds when I saw them slain. Where will I be now, if not then? They will remain indelible in my heart, forever, 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 and ever, and ever, and ever.
We serve in your plantation, and the way you paid us back with your bloody starvation. We bled in our history, that the death of my people is a mystery. No going back to get to a victory. I had a voice now call for vengeance. I never get bombed, I'ma blow like a vengeance.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Ipocha massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Where will I be now? If not you, you died at Mali.
They were starved to death because of our freedom, and they paid the debt for our freedom. Flag high for those that died in the genocide, fighting for you and I. There is pain in our heart, we bleeding inside, tears in the eyes of our fallen heroes.
This is for my fallen heroes. Give them motivation, people. It's like I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Cause to be a cast, I need to be a nurse. If we did not retire,
They paid the ultimate price. Yeah. They died for the freedom of unborn child. Yeah. We live for the legacy. Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Onitsha massacre, Ipocha massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright. Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Onitsha massacre, Ipocha massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Yeah. Put the flag in the air. Never be afraid. March on. Cause we are more than conquerors. Yeah. You know what it is.
I'm looking at myself in the
We must